And I replay these shows often between now and the election, okay?
Okay, great.
You know, just free, give the information out to the public.
Yeah, good. That's great. I like that poster there. New generation, old battle.
There you go. Yeah, one of those two. Good morning, Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Thank you so much for tuning in again to What's Going On, where we talk about what's going on in our community, in our state, the nation, and the world. Again, good morning to you, and thank you for tuning in to What's Going On. Usually, I start the show off with talking about what's going on in our community, and unfortunately, a lot of violence is going on still. I used to give the crime stats every show. It became too depressing to give crime stats every Tuesday and Thursday morning here happening in Baton Rouge. And again, on yesterday, there were multiple people injured in more shootings. I won't talk about it much today because I'm fortunate enough to have a candidate for city council on my show, and I have no doubt that he's going to give us some insight on what's going on with the crime here in Baton Rouge, and maybe talk about some of his ideas and solutions to decreasing and eliminating the violence that's happening here in Baton Rouge. Yeah, that's what's going on in Baton Rouge. Also, what's going on is our president. I know a couple of days ago he tweeted that he would be discharged and then all of a sudden he came out discharged, but he doesn't look well. So I wonder what's going on with our president. He did not look well last night when I guess he was doing some type of fanfare wave for the public. He did not look well. So hopefully all those folks at the White House now believe that this COVID-19 is real. It appears based on the things that have come out of their mouths, as well as the policies that they have not enacted and the things that they have not done to stop this spread of the virus since its beginning here in America. Hopefully now many of those folks that are now positive with COVID-19 believe that it's real, and maybe they'll do more. If not, you know what to do on November 3rd. You know what to do on November 3rd. Please don't forget to vote. Today on my show, I have someone that has been in the Baton Rouge community, being an advocate, being a voice, and being someone that's unafraid, unbossed, I would call him, and unafraid to speak his mind and speak for what's right. I've studied and watched his work over the years, and am proud to have Reverend Reginald in the studio with me today to talk about his candidacy. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning. How you doing? Thanks for having me, first of all.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for coming into the show. For the few people on this planet in Baton Rouge that may not know who you are, let's start off by giving the folks a little background about who you are, where you're from, your educational background, the work you've done in the past, a little bit about who you are, your family, and etc.
Okay. Born in New Orleans, raised in Baton Rouge until about 9 years old. My family moved to Los Angeles. Grew up in South Central Los Angeles in a place we affectionately call Watts. Came back here
Closer to the microphone.
Came back here to assist my grandfather in his ministry. Graduated from Southern University. Been here since 1975. Have been an activist all of my life.
Activist is a great way to describe you.
All my life.
Mm-hmm.
Basically because of how I grew up. I grew up in the Georgetown housing projects, and I saw the discrimination, the racism, police brutality, police murders. I saw all that growing up. I saw the drugs. I saw the violence was a part of it. Mm-hmm. And I always felt like that was a better way. And I always felt that if there was going to be a change, we would have to be that change. I conducted my first boycott in the 9th grade. We boycotted the school cafeteria because they were selling us old, day-old, 2-day-old food. So we boycotted and won. So that kind of like...
Wow. So since 9th grade, you've been an activist.
Since the 9th grade.
Since the 9th grade. And then you moved here to Baton Rouge. What brought you here to Baton Rouge the second time around?
Okay, well, my father's a minister here. As I was telling you earlier, he owned the only African-American sugar mill. He was the first grocery store in South Baton Rouge, off Perkins Road in what is now Essen Lane, and he owned the first African-American owned gas station.
Wow.
So he was a minister, Reverend Dr. W.M. Pitcher, and I came here to help him and to learn and train under him. So that's what brought me back here. Okay.
And since then, how has it been being here in Baton Rouge? Tell us about, because you have a strong history of work here in Baton Rouge, of advocacy and activism. Give us your thoughts on the past, 20, 30 years here in Baton Rouge as it relates to your activism and where you've seen the city from then to now.
Well, when I first came here, and a lot of young people don't know this, they need to know it. The black community, particularly businesses and politics, were cohesive. They worked together as a team. The way that they would strategize, I was a young man, I was able to sit in.
So you're saying there was one time where black politics was unified?
They were unified.
Wow.
They were unified. Dale Pitt, if you ever get a chance to speak to Joe, he'll tell you too. He's one of the last ones that are left. But the politicians would get together, strategize, and vote as a block. Businesses would work together, and strategize. So it was more or less us coming together for us, and even on the council and the House, representatives, the senators, African American leaders, politicians at that time. Now they had their quirks and what have you, but as a whole, they were cohesive. They voted as a block.
What happened? What do you think happened over the years?
Well,
because I'm going to conclude and you're going to conclude, and that's why I'm asking this question. It doesn't appear to be as cohesive today.
No. It's just say, for instance, I can use the pastors for an example. Around that time, most pastors live in the neighborhood in which they pastor. So of course they had a connection to the neighborhood in which they pastored. Everything that happened in the neighborhood affected them. But as we got more affluent and our people started to make more money and we were able to get larger salaries, we moved out of the neighborhood. So most of the pastors today does not live in the neighborhoods that they pastor. So for the most part, not all, but some, they don't have a connection to the neighborhood. So when they're not in the neighborhood and what happens in the neighborhood does not really affect them. They may hear about it Wednesday when they come to Bible study, or hear about it Sunday when they come to church, or read about it or see it on the news, but it does not affect them directly. And I think that disconnect has weakened the power of the pastor. The pastor is the most liberated black man in America. He can get up in the pulpit and say whatever he wants to say, whenever he wants to say it, however he wants to say it, and don't have any fear of anyone challenging what he's saying. But because there's no connect, and because he's more apt to acquiesce to position, to power, to money, to influence, he's not as vocal as he should be. That weakened the power of the black community. Then the politicians, of course, many of them on the purse strings and in the pockets of the powers that be. And that is true even today. You wonder why sometimes this guy comes from nowhere, well financed, where's the money coming from? And has no real connection to the community and not done a whole lot in the community, but he's well financed. He runs a perfect campaign, and you wonder, okay, well, where's the money coming from? What's the motivation, and what's the agenda? So that's where we are today, and all of that has served to weaken the community, and that's why we see the things that we see going on now. Black on black crime unabated, black on black killing unabated. Folks scared to speak out, and when we look at, and I heard you talking about the numbers, when you look at, and this is part of my platform, when you look at what's going on in the community today, okay, we see the results of something that has been put in place years ago, okay? You find a kid in the 3rd or 4th grade, can't read, he's ostracized. He's embarrassed because he can't read. He starts to exhibiting behavior problems. So you put him in the back of the class, and then he starts disturbing the class, so you put him out completely. So you start putting him out enough, then the kids say, okay, well, what the heck, I give up, I quit. Okay, so these are the kids that you see out there shooting each other. They have no future, have very, very little knowledge of their past. There's nothing out there for them other than what they're doing.
Right, no hope.
No hope. No hope. They lose hope. So my plans are, and I talked to the police chief about this and a few other people about this, if you're going to eradicate, for the most part, black on black crime, you're going to have to start elementary school. You have to start junior high school. We talk about these alternative schools that they have set up now, which are actually holding places. They're put there as a first step from the school to prison pipeline. Okay, there's nothing to prevent them from dropping out of school, nothing to prevent them from furthering their criminal activity.
It's just a holding place.
It's just a holding place. So even with when we say, just say for instance, my plans are to provide job training, skills, remedial reading, math, set up apprenticeships with, say, carpenters, bricklayers, cement finishers, pipe fitters, welders. And the reason I say apprenticeship is because, there's programs that are set up at Baton Rouge Community College, which are good programs. But if you can't pass the test to get in,
right?
If you can't read the training material, then that does nothing for you.
Yeah.
But if we can figure out a way to partnership with contractors,
I like that,
and allow them to mentor the young people put them under their wings, train them, develop them. You don't have to pay them top dollar while they're learning, but train them, give them the necessary skills. And I believe in that principle. If you give a child a fish, you feed him for one day, but if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So job training, job development, apprenticeship. Then they also, the program, my wife is a realtor, and she works primarily with renters who become first-time home buyers. Okay, so if I'm giving you job training, job development, job placement, apprenticeship, and then put you in a program to become a first-time home buyer, the chances of you being an asset to the community rather than a liability are far greater.
Right.
But if I put more police in the community, if I strengthen the criminal liabilities, and if I build bigger prisons, so that's saying to you a throwaway.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do anything for you except build a place for you. So I say away with that, you know, and
invest the dollars
in our future, you know, and see, and I've been out here, man, pushing this for years, going on deaf ears because most of the politicians who hear it don't have the fortitude and the fight and the courage to do it. It's doable, but you have to have the courage to do it. It's a heavy lift, but you have to have the courage to do it. If you don't believe in it, how do you expect the community to believe in it? I believe in it. I believe it can be done. I believe in the resourcefulness of black people. We've survived slavery, Reconstruction, civil rights, post-civil rights, Donald Trump, so pandemic. If we can survive that, you know, we can survive. We're still here, you know, we're still here. But there has to be direction from the community out, from the inside out, not from the outside in. Too many of us want to go, no, we're going to change. You cannot change them from the outside. You know, that's like colonialism. You know, you colonizing the people. Well, I know what's best for them. Well, if you haven't been in their community and walked in their shoes, how can you know what's best for them? You know, so that's.
I like what you said. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to emphasize what you said in your platform to fighting crime by offering those mentorship and apprenticeship opportunities, because a lot of the work that I do is in public policy and programming, and though you and I both agree BRCC is an asset to our community, I know for a fact that the beautiful space they built on Lobdell, the automotive program, is great. The P-Tech program on Hooper Road is great. I've toured them both. But when you look at the admission requirements, you know, and again, my friends at BRCC and with the state, when they say, well, why aren't the community benefiting? Well, as you stated, if they can't meet the list of admission requirements to those well-certified programs that can easily get them $70,000 or more, but it requires them to be able to use a tape measure or read and write and have skill sets and high school diploma and things like that the folks in the neighborhood don't have, then what are we offering as an alternative to the alternative?
Absolutely.
Okay, because if the technical school is an alternative to a four-year institution, if folks not getting into the technical schools, what's the alternative to the technical school?
Absolutely.
And so what your platform says is, let's work with these contractors and get these folks on jobs to be able to learn those skill sets. Let's get them what they need to be able to read, write, and use a tape measure. And then maybe one day they'll be able to make a living for themselves. And then also maybe one day they'll go into those certificate programs when they meet those admission requirements, because they come with requirements. That automotive building is beautiful and it is well equipped and well recognized, but the folks around Lobdell are not enrolled.
They're not, and they're not going to be. They're not going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like Malcolm X said back in the day. He said, you're making yourself look like you're doing something, but you're really doing nothing, because the people that you say that you're there to help are not benefiting from what you're doing. So if one sign of insanity is to keep doing what you're doing and getting what you're getting. If you keep doing what you're doing, expecting to get different results, then that's a sign of insanity. So that means that if it's not working, then you try to find something else. But as I said earlier, the solution to our problem is not going to be from without the community. It has to be from within the community. what I'm telling you, they already know. You know, the community knows. The people, the powers that be may not understand. Well, why we build it there? It's there. Why aren't they taking advantage of it? Well, what you don't understand is that they're not equipped to take advantage of it. You know, so if you want them to take advantage of it, equip them to take advantage of it. But if you're not in the community and you're not talking to the people, you just put it there. You didn't come and take a survey in the community and find out their educational level, their understanding, their emotional level. You know, you never did that. The trauma that they face on a daily basis. You know, you never even looked at that. You just said, well, if I put it in the community where they are, they'll take advantage of it. No, it's a lot more to it than that. You know, so that's my platform.
What else you got in your platform? You talked about workforce development and skill training. What else do you have as your platform for City Council? And by the way, let's take a pause here. What district are you running from? And I always like folks to give neighborhoods and boundaries so folks know, oh, that's my neighborhood. Okay. What's your district and boundaries you're running for?
District 6. The boundaries are from Foster Drive on the west, Flannery Road on the east, Greenville Springs on the north, and Florida Boulevard, and part of Broadmoor, Sherwood Forest on the south.
Gotcha.
So we cover Villa Del Rey, Park Forest, Melrose East, parts of Broadmoor, River Oaks, parts of Sherwood Forest.
Gotcha.
So you know, so actually, we have inner city, we have industrial.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We have business, commercial, and we have suburbs. I think we have the most diverse district in the parish.
Okay. So now, what else do you have on your platform that you can enlighten us about?
Well, the second most important, because you know we talk about drainage. Everybody talks about drainage. We talk about sewage. We talk about traffic. But what I'm looking at, and I've been working with Police Chief Paul to develop a real community policing apparatus.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is
go ahead, keep talking.
Freezing the rotating shifts and rotating zones, so that the police officers will spend more time in one district, one area, so they get a chance to actually meet the people who live there. And the people who live there will actually get a chance to meet them.
Okay, so let's back for those of us who haven't done your research and work. When you say freezing, so are you saying right now it doesn't work that way? The police officers aren't given time to embed themselves into one community? Okay.
No, they rotate from zones, shift zones.
Okay.
And I think that hinders their ability to actually interact with the people.
Absolutely, it does.
Because then you have a brother from Denham Springs who comes here and works his shift, and he goes back home. So he's not connected to the community either.
Right.
So along with the freezing the shifts, I also want to see more African Americans, Hispanics who live in Baton Rouge actually enrolled as police cadets. Now, the drawback from that, and I had pushback from that with the union, I said, well, we've taken in 500 applications, and out of that 500 applications, only 4 qualified, and 50 qualified, and out of that 50, maybe 4 actually went to the academy. I said, okay, well, if that's the case, then something you're doing is not right. Okay, you need to find out why is it that if you have 500 applicants and you only accept 50, and then 4 go to the academy. So apparently, because I know that there's even a lot more than 500 out there who really wants to apply. I said, have you ever considered preparing them to take the aptitude test, the civil service test? I mean, if you say, now they're mandated to increase the diversity. They're mandated to do that. But they're saying, okay, we make the announcement, we take the applications. Well, maybe your announcements and your application is not enough. You have people out there who want to join the police force, but they're scared to take the test. want to join the police force, but they don't feel that they're qualified to pass the test. Okay, so let's back it up a bit. Okay, those who want to join the police force, let's give them some remedial work. Let's train them in how to take the test.
Right.
You know, you have a heart to join the force, then I ought to make it easier for you to join the force instead of harder.
Harder for you to join the force. And there are a lot of folks out there who want to be officers.
Who want to be police officers.
And they're people of color. They're people of color.
Absolutely. You know, everybody is not against the police, but they're against the actions of the police and the way they approach the community, you know.
So is police community relations part of your platform?
Absolutely.
What do you hope to do, and what are your plans as it relates to police and community relations?
Okay, maybe in the early 90s, I developed an organization called Community Alert Patrol, where a group of us would get together primarily on the weekends, and we would go to the hottest drug spots in the city. At that time, it was in the Eden Park area, 38th and King. Okay, we would go out there. We'd set up with megaphones, video cameras. We would have prayer meeting in front of the crack houses. We would go stand on the drug corners. Our chant was down with dope, up with hope. We would videotape people coming in and coming out of the drug, you know, the crack houses. We even happened to videotape some policemen coming in the crack houses, standing there 45 minutes, leaving out, not making any arrests. Well, what are you doing? What are you going to pick up your money? What's going on here? So, in essence, what it was putting these places under a microscope. Now, they may not have stopped dealing drugs, but they stopped at that spot. You know, they may not have stopped buying drugs, but they stopped coming there. So, you know, we would report license plates, we turn in license plates. Dangerous, but nobody ever confronted us. Nobody ever was injured doing that. And I think, you know, the police model is to protect and serve. Our model was protect and observe. So we want to know what's going on in the community. And another part of that would be, I talked to Chief Paul, and we were talking about the fact that things happen in the community, but when the police go out to investigate it, nobody saw anything. You know,
nobody wants to talk about it. Because he's got on TV several times saying we need the community to say something.
Absolutely. Unless it happens to you, then you want everybody to talk then.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what he wants to do, and you know, and I wish him luck, and I'll help him. I'll work with him. He wants to identify pastors in the communities, and if the people are reluctant to talk to the police, talk to the pastors, and let the pastors relay the information. You know, and that I think.
But that goes back to what you said about pastors have to be embedded in their community in order to have the trust to have that communications with the people.
And the courage.
And the courage.
You know, to want to do it. Because there's nothing that's going to happen. We have to take our communities back. You know, we have to take them back. I was one of those guys out there drugging, gangbang. I did that. I robbed. I shot. You know, I sold drugs. I did all that. And I know that it took one man. His name is Louis Lomax. He was a journalist at that time in South Central Los Angeles. And he came and he brought buses to the community. And he took a lot of us out of the community one summer. Every Saturday he would take us to Hollywood, Baldwin Hills, Catalina Island, places that we had never been. All we knew was projects, man. We didn't know about any of that. We saw it on TV. But he took us there. And during that time, some of us saw that there was life outside of the hood, life outside of the ghetto, and it inspired us to want to know more, you know, about what's going on out there. So it only takes, you know, one person or two people with enough compassion to get with these young people, man, and to teach them that there's a better way. But they don't care about how much you know. They want to know how much you care. You know, if you care, then you won't just pass through the hood. You know, a lot of us grew up in the hood. We might pass through and wave, but our connection is not there. You know, we've severed our contact. So in order for us to function as a community and to grow and get better as a community, those who have made it out gotta come back.
Have to come back.
You know, you gotta come back.
Well, Pastor, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation about your platform, especially as it relates to workforce development, training our young people, as it relates to making churches the center of our community, pastors and members living in the community.
It's always been that way.
And emphasizing that, and I love your strategy about diversifying our police force as well as building stronger community relations by actually getting out there in the community. Are there any closing remarks that you'd like to say to the public, to the voters in your district about you and your campaign?
Okay. Basically, I'm the only candidate in the race now that fought to maintain a majority district. In 2002, the council wanted to distract some of the numbers and trying to make it gerrymander it back to 50-50. Myself, along with Charles Kelly and Laurie Burgess, we fought to make sure that that didn't happen, and it did not happen, and we preserved District 6 as a minority district. And ever since that time, I've been working in the district, doing voter registration and doing other things to try to enhance what we have. So I feel like, you know, at this point in time, I've invested 21 years, I've been there 21 years. I see where the district is going, I see where it was. And if we're not careful, it's gonna be, just say, for instance, a ghost town along Florida Boulevard, particularly around Cartagena Mall area. And if nobody is going to step up, you know, for us, and it's a diverse group of people, and it's not going to be a single thing that changes it. It's gonna have to be a multifaceted approach to making sure that it does not go back to where property values will go down. People won't want to move there, you know. So my goal is to enhance it and to move it forward in a positive way.
Good, good. And what's your ballot number? And give them all
ballot
that.
number 112.
Okay, 112.
Reginald picture on your ballot.
Reginald picture on your ballot. Thank you so much, sir. It's been a true pleasure speaking with you, and tell your family I said hello. Brother Pitcher's daughter and I went to high school together. A brilliant young lady, Regina. Shout out to Regina wherever you are, and in high school. And again, thank you so much, and best of luck on the campaign trail. I appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you.
All right. Next up on our show, we're going to have Brother Dassau. Christopher Dassau is joining our show. He's going to talk about his election and his campaign. Come on, Brother Dassau. He's going to talk about his election and his campaign, and what he stands for and why he is running. So, Brother Dassau, come on and have a seat and join what's going on.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And this is going to be great because this is really my first opportunity. I've met Brother Dassau in passing several times, but this will be my first opportunity having a conversation with Brother Dassau about his campaign and what he stands for and what he hopes to bring as judge. He is running for judge, and he's going to tell us more about himself. So let's start by just telling us who you are and where you're from and your educational background and your work background. Christopher Dassau.
All right. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Gilmore, for having me. My name is Christopher Dassau. So I'm running for judge, running for the 19th Judicial District Court Division G. So I was born in Florida. Okay. All my family's in Shreveport. I came to Baton Rouge to attend Southern University.
All right, that's the best university you could have chosen to attend.
You're right. Yes, I'm a child of an alumni. My mother's a graduate of Southern University, so I came here for undergrad.
What year did you finish Southern?
Well, I'm about to tell you that.
Okay.
I started off at Southern. I had a family emergency, so I had to go at transfer, and I finished my undergraduate in construction management at FIU.
Okay, I'm familiar with FIU.
Yeah, so I finished my bachelor's down there after I had to leave Southern, but then I came back to Southern and came back to Baton Rouge for law school.
You missed us that much?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, you missed us.
Yeah, so, I definitely wanted to come back to Southern and finish what I started at Southern.
Okay.
I knew I was going to law school, and you know, that's where I intended to go, and I'm thankful that I got in and was able to come back to Southern University and graduate.
Very good. With your law degree.
Yes.
Okay. And since you finished Southern, what type of work have you been engaged in? You practice law, or I know you're with the city of Baker right now, but give the listening audience a little bit about your work history.
Yeah. So well, first of all, while I was in law school, I had a few internships. Okay, so I clerked down at the 19 JDC as an intern. I clerked at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals as an intern, Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal as an intern. And then once I got out, I passed the Louisiana bar on my first attempt. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I clerked, and I was a staff attorney down at the 19 JDC.
Okay.
So I was a staff attorney, assisting the judge, and everything that's required to run the judicial office, to run his office. And then I was asked to serve with the city of Baker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was appointed as a city prosecutor for Baker. I've been serving as a city prosecutor for Baker for 8 years.
Okay, wow.
Yes, and along with serving as a prosecutor, I also have a private practice.
Okay.
So my private practice, I help people with injury cases, any type of injury case that they are involved in. Construction claims, because I have an undergraduate degree in construction management, so that's an area that I'm interested in. But also wills and successions.
Okay. So you're pretty diverse. And how has it been serving as a prosecutor in the city of Baker, and what have you gained as it relates to that experience over the past 8 years?
Well, I love serving as a prosecutor because it's good public service. It's a position that has a lot of authority and a lot of discretion, but it's good public service and it's good responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as the sole prosecutor for Baker, for the city, you know, I make a decision on every case that comes through the city court.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think about these cases thoughtfully. I think about it from all sides of the case before I decide to charge the person or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people have had confidence that they have someone who, you know, is trying to do the right thing about them when they come into the court. That's the person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good that I live right there in Baker. I serve in the community in which I live.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's been definitely a rewarding and rich experience. I'm still serving as the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think the Lord has just blessed me to be able to come out, get out of law school, start my career, and be in public service. Mm-hmm. You know, that my heart is, and I know my purpose is serving the public, and you know, serving in this criminal justice system. And you know, I'm thankful to be in that position now.
Okay. What made you decide to run for judge? Why did you decide? You know, you're in a position where you say that you enjoy serving the public and reviewing cases and being fair and just. Why not stay there? What made you decide to run for district judge?
All right. So the Lord put this on my heart years ago. Mm-hmm. When I first got to college, He told me I felt that I'm going to be a judge. Okay, and I remember on Southern University campus, I was speaking with my roommate, who was my best friend at the time. He's deceased now. But we were standing outside of the dorm room. We were discussing, okay, you know, what you're going to do when you get out here. What's your plans? And I told him I'm going to be a judge because I felt that, you know, that was where I'm going. And he told me, okay, yeah, you know, you're gonna have to run a campaign. And you know, at that time, I didn't know that. And so, you know, it was kind of I took it kind of as a challenge. It was somewhat.
You thought you were going to be appointed judge, or?
Well, I just didn't realize that.
What it entails in the campaign.
Right.
I got you. I got you. It's a lot.
It is, and so. The Lord has ordered my steps from then until now. Mm-hmm. Of course, to finish undergrad, get into law school, get out, pass the bar, get into public service, and now is this time. Mm-hmm. So I have, you know, served, like I said, as a prosecutor, served in public service. It just so happens that this is the time where we have an election coming up for a full-term election. I know this is my calling, what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And now is the time for me to get in this and ask the public to hire me for this position. I'm ready to serve. I have the energy and the intellect to get in there and serve this public. We need some change in our justice system. People that you know can take what what's going on now and make a positive influence. I believe I can use my, who I am, how I treat people, my ability to interpret the law, and also I have a heart for public service. I think all those things together will help me to help this community. And now is the time for me to get in the race and do it and start this work.
Okay, you are running against a person, an incumbent that's been there for a number of years. What do you plan to do differently? Why should others switch from the current district judge? Why should they support you? What do you plan on doing different than the incumbent has done for the past several years?
Okay, so yes, I am.
Or what do you plan to fix, or what's wrong? Maybe also a way to ask that question.
Yes. Well, I can tell you that I'm the candidate that's going to help to bridge this gap between our community and justice system. Okay.
And what does that gap entail?
That gap is part of what you see on the news and on every day. Okay. The gap is, first of all, a lack of understanding between what one side is doing, what one side is coming from versus the other. People in the community feel like they're not treated fairly, which sometimes they're not. And I know justice given by man we're never perfect in our justice, but we can have a sincere intent to do what's right about people and treat people fairly, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from, no matter if they what color, if they have a lot of resources, or whether they have hardly anything. Okay, and that's important, and that's the type of person that I am. That's how I've served as a prosecutor, and that's certainly how I would serve as a judge. There's a gap of communication, I believe, between what we're doing in the justice system and what we're doing every day in the community. What I have done and have been doing in Baker, and what I intend to continue to do as judge, is open up lines of communication. Meaning, me as someone who's a lawyer, who is a public official, and hopefully will be an elected official, I know what's going on, what people are dealing with coming into the courtroom. I see some of the issues, the crimes that are being committed when they're coming into the courtroom. And when we're in the courtroom, we have to follow the law and do what needs to be done. But let me tell you that I can also see beyond that and see that there are underlying issues that are causing people to have to come into the criminal justice system in the first place. I see a lack of guidance, especially in our young people. I see a lack of direction, a lack of being able to put their energy in a more productive direction. Okay, and part of what I've done as a public servant is help to address that. Okay, so for years we've been doing a conference for men, boys, and the women who love them. It's a program that started in Baker, where we bring boys in from the community, men and boys, women with men and boys in their life, and I bring in other people who can help me talk with them, counsel them, kind of like a mentorship program. And we discuss the issues. We talk about legal issues that our men and boys become involved with, such as police encounters, other things that we end up seeing them in the courtroom for. And, just give them some insight on those situations. We talk about mental health, bringing medical doctors to talk about mental health issues, things that can, maybe give them some guidance, maybe the people in their life some tips on that. Mental health, excuse me, physical health. We discuss, conflict resolution issues, how to avoid some of these conflicts that sometimes lead to violence, things like that.
Go ahead. No, because let me tell you, I haven't really gotten involved in judicial races, and I'm very fortunate. I've never had to go before a judge in my life, but I didn't really know many judges until the last couple of years of my life, engaging them because there's a high turnover now. Many of them are retiring, and so new folks are running for office, and so I've made it my goal to get to know the judges that are running for office. But one thing I see, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but most people know I don't care. One thing that I am looking for in the next group of judges. It's judges who go beyond the bench. I think that our judges should play a bigger role at preventing crime and helping to get out in the community more and address these issues like you're seeing with our young men and boys, particularly black boys. Educate the public on their rights, okay? I think that it's time that we have judges who leave the bench and are out in the community more, being a role in educating people on the law, and addressing some of these issues to prevent their courtrooms from having backlogs of cases. And I think that is an opportunity for us. Judges shouldn't be just on a bench looked up to as kings and queens. They should be out there among the people addressing some of these issues, both advocating at the legislature as well as being advocates for issues and unfairness in our community. That's just where I stand. I know they have canons and all this other stuff that folks are supposed to abide by, but I don't think that our citizens who vote should meet the judge in their district the first time when they're in court on trial.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I agree that, you know, as a public service, especially in the justice system and especially in this criminal justice system, we should serve the people inside the courtroom and outside the courtroom. Okay, we should have, I can tell you, me as a prosecutor and certainly as a judge, we have to use our influence, we can use our resources as an elected official, we can use our knowledge, our platform, to do good about people where they are before they come to us. And I agree with what you said, that it shouldn't always be, okay, basically, I want to, in my criminal court, if I'm elected as judge, it'll be more than just, okay, crime and punishment. Okay, it can be, you know, public protection is required. Okay, we have to protect the public. We have to protect the public. We'll do that. But we have to protect the public. We'll do that. But we can go beyond that and serving the community, like you've been saying. And that I feel, and I know that it's my responsibility to do that. Okay, if people have to come to me to for justice to be administered, well, look, I have a lot of influence and platform where I can go in the community and help people before they
alternative sentencing. There should be alternatives in just, you know, locking folks up. You know, how do you feel about alternative sentencing and other interventions that, for people who might need mental health? That's why they keep repeating crimes, because they haven't gotten the mental health services that they need.
Mental health is a big issue. Okay, from the street to the courtroom to the prison, mental health is an issue. That's something that all levels of our justice system really need to focus on and deal with. That's a big issue. As far as alternative sentencing, I believe in rehabilitation. Okay, I believe that we need to, when a person has the ability to be rehabilitated, they've shown maybe some remorse from what they've done, or you know, we need to give them an opportunity, if it's safe for the public to do so, give them an opportunity to make them better, because you know, to have certain requirements of them where they're able to improve themselves, give them guidance, put them in a position to do better about themselves. So when most people are released, so when they are back in the community, or when they are back into their home, into their neighborhoods, that we've done something to make them into a better person and give them an opportunity to do so. So I'm all for rehabilitation. I'm all for helping the people to get into developmental a position to develop themselves. Very good. Absolutely.
Very good. Okay. Well, Brother Dassau, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the public? Give the public your district, your boundaries, mention neighborhoods, so they'll know when they go in, you know, they'll know if where they live at, they'll walk in and see Christopher Dassau on the ballot. Give folks your district number, as well as some boundaries and neighborhoods to help us better understand the area you would represent.
Yeah, so I'm running for the 19th Judicial District Court Division G, and it's the northern part of the parish will be able to vote for me. So anybody who lives within the city of Baker, the whole city of Zachary, all of Central, the city of Central, and then some of the northern parts of Baton Rouge, so Alson, Brownsfield, Sherwood Forest, Park Forest, Marydale,
Okay.
Villa Del Rey, Monticello, all of those areas I'll be on your ballot.
Okay.
I'll be number 79 on the ballot.
Okay. Okay.
And of course, make sure you all go out and vote. Early voting is October the 16th through the 27th. So I encourage you to go out early and vote. And of course, election day is November 3rd.
And how can anyone reach you that would like to learn more about your campaign? Do you have social media? Do you have a phone number? Do you have a website? If folks want to learn more about Christopher Dassau or reach out to him to volunteer with his campaign, how can they connect with you?
So you can go on the internet. We have a campaign website. It's Dassau for Judge, DASSAUFORJUDGE.com, DassauForJudge.com. And if you're on social media, we have an Instagram and Facebook account. The Instagram is Dassau, DASSAU.4Judge, and you'll find the Instagram account just to see what we post. If Facebook, if you just search in Christopher Dassau District Judge, our Facebook page will come up, and you can reach us there. By telephone, you can reach us at 225-277-4556, 225-277-4556, and you'll be able to reach us by telephone.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Christopher Dassau, for coming on and sharing the platform. It's good to hear that that you're going to be a fair judge, that you're going to be a judge that looks at the cases individually from all aspects, that you're going to consider alternative sentencing so that it isn't a quick pipeline to prison, that you're going to look where the public safety is of greatest concern, but you're also going to look to see that there may be alternatives for mental health treatment or other rehabilitation. It's also good to know that you'll be a judge who will be beyond the bench, and that you'll be embedded in the community, trying to prevent and create solutions to the things that get people in your court. That you'll be out there mentoring youth, that you'll be out there advocating for policies and programs that help uplift the community, so folks won't have to meet you in court.
Yes, sir.
We want your docket to be empty, and the way we do that is we need to have judges and elected officials who are out there in the community, finding solutions, as Brother Pitcher said, embedded in the community to address these issues, so that our people and all people won't even be a part of the criminal justice system. We can end that pipeline. Christopher Dassau, thank you so much again for coming in. Thank you all for tuning in to What's Going On every Tuesday and Thursday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on WTQT 106.1 FM. Again, my name is Dr. James Gilmore, and I thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. Between now and November 3rd, we have plenty more people who will be on the show. Mayor Sharon Weston Broome has confirmed that she'll be here October 20th, so we look forward to hearing from Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome, as well as Cleve Dunn and many other folks who have reached out to me about being on the show. Again, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to get out there and vote. Get out there and vote, people. Have a fantastic day.